So hi, one of the Good Noise Podcasts with Adam Thornton. We're gonna ask him some questions today. I'm gonna start. So, what inspired you to start making music?
Probably. Well, I don't know. This is probably going to sound kind of cheesy, but the Eagles, the Eagles and my dad. My dad got me into the band, the Eagles. There was a little concert they did in '94 called "Hell Freezes Over," and I watched that a ton, and I just kind of got into it more from there.
Okay.
Hmm.
All right.
All
Very
right.
cool.
Solid. So, congrats on your newest album, Passenger Airbag. How do you feel about the response to it so far?
It's been really pretty positive. Maybe a little bit slow in the marketing department, but it's been probably, I'd say, a little bit more positive than most of the things that I've put out so far.
Well, that's good to hear.
Yeah, I'm so happy to hear that.
Uh, so can you tell me a little bit about your writing process, just like in general for all your releases?
Mm, well, generally, I'll probably just be watching TV
Mhm.
or talking to somebody, and they'll say something that sort of, just strikes me as clever or offbeat, and I'll just start there and write out from it.
Really? Wow, so it's like
And
anything
sometimes,
that kind of
and
flips the
sometimes,
switch?
like I just sort of just go to my computer and start playing around on the keyboard and find a sound that strikes my ear and try to almost write to the mood that that creates.
Hmm,
It's pretty much different every time I write something.
Okay.
that's so cool. So it's like literally somebody can just say something and you'd be like, oh, wait, that sounds cool. Let me
Yeah,
go write a song about that.
in fact, like one of the songs on Passenger Airbag called Surf Jones happened because me and my buddy were walking down the street, and this old pharmacy that I used to go to called Deason's had changed hands to this company that made Letterman sweaters and stuff like that called Herf Jones. And I don't really remember. I think one of us just mispronounced it, and I was like, oh, I could write a song about a surfer named Jones.
Hmm. Why not? Why not?
And it's all kinds of stuff like that. One of the songs on there, Holy Swahili Goats, um, was written after a bad experience I had at a church I was going to.
Mm.
Um, there was a there was a preacher up there, assistant preacher, who played bass at the church, and he was out one Sunday. No, no, no. Okay, that was a separate time. But I went up to play guitar. Somebody invited me up on stage to play guitar for the church,
Hmm.
and he didn't particularly like it, and told me to sit down. And
What?
he went down to my grandma after the service and was like, "I can't let anybody play that's not filled with the Holy Spirit." And
Oh my god.
so, I mean, the song has. If you were to just listen to the song after that description, you probably wouldn't hear that in there because it's like a very buried part of the song, but that's where it started.
Wow. Okay. Wait, so that was the inspiration of the song, or
Hmm.
you the part you played on
No, no,
stage was what
I
you?
was like, like that was I was really mad, and so I
Hmm.
just started writing something to kind
Hmm.
of get my frustration out, and it just turned into this weird. Holy Swahili Goats was a thing that my friend said, making fun of Batman and Robin, like "Holy Swahili Goats, Batman,"
Yeah.
and like I don't know, I just kind of back then, like all of those songs on that album were written when I was like 16, 17 years old,
Oh wow.
and I went back and found the multi-tracks and sort of remixed them to make them sound a bit better because my mixing skills were kind of dodgy then. But yeah, back then my writing style was more just like taking all these pieces and just sort of throwing them in one thing. It didn't necessarily have to make sense.
Hmm.
All right.
All right, makes sense. So where was your headspace for this album?
Well, for this album, I was sort of trying to think about how I would have wanted the album to sound when I was like 16, 17, when I was writing all this stuff.
Hmm.
Um, and I was like, that's all I kept thinking through the whole thing. Like, what would I have wanted this to sound like? Because I didn't have the skills to make it like I wanted it then. And I think pretty much succeeded in it. Although I will say I was watching some YouTube videos yesterday about some mixing tips, and like halfway through I was like, damn it, I might have to do this again.
Oh,
I picked up so many like new, I don't know if you've ever like found this or not, but once you sort of think you kind of know about something, you kind of figure out that you don't know as much as you thought.
yeah.
But yeah.
So, what band or artist influences do you think you can hear the most in your music?
More than likely, they might be Giants. I don't know if you're familiar with them.
I've
Of
heard
course,
of
yeah.
them. Yeah.
I've heard of them, yeah.
I I started listening to their music around the same time that I was writing all this stuff, and like from then on, they're probably the band that I've listened to the most over the years outside of like the Beatles. And I was thinking earlier today where I would place them in a hierarchy, and it's really hard to say whether I would put them under the Beatles or over the Beatles. Because I definitely think without the Beatles, they wouldn't probably exist. But I kind of think they're maybe better.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
fair.
All right.
That's fair.
But yeah, it's basically just a lot of their influence and a lot of vocal influence from like the Beach Boys. I take a lot of lyrical cues from people like Lou Reed. Really just kind of like, I think pretty much everything that I listen to you can hear kind of being spat out in the things that I write.
Makes sense. So I want this to go super, super quick. So I want you to describe your music in 3 words.
Oof.
As fast as you can.
Okay. Crazy, trippy, confusing.
All right.
Okay.
Works.
Wonderful.
Uh,
Good.
so, is there a certain feeling you want your listeners to have while listening to your music?
Well, I would probably like lean a little bit heavy on confused, because one of my favorite sort of feelings that I get whenever I listen to music, like the music I gravitate toward, isn't obvious at first what it's talking about, and like the sounds that they use aren't like your standard rock band kind of stuff. Like, the Beatles sort of started all that with bringing in the sitar and the mellotron and all that stuff. And of course, like John Lennon's weird lyricism on like I'm the Walrus and stuff like that. Like anytime I've ever heard a song and it just confused me, it made me kind of go like, what is that? I need to know more about this. And I like that feeling, and I kind of hope to invoke that a little bit in people.
Okay.
All right. Solid. So,
But I mean, I guess people probably don't like to go through the world confused, so maybe I'm like hitting a weird target, but I hope it works.
yeah,
We're in, yeah.
exactly. Yeah. So you released a crap ton of records from 2015 to 2018. What was up with that?
Oh, well, first I would probably have to say marijuana and a lot of time.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. Honesty.
But more to the point, I ran across this dude I belong to a group on Facebook for Devo fans. Like I'm sure you both know who Devo is, and they're also like a big inspiration to me. The Whip It guys. And I posted one of my songs to this group, and I ran into this dude named Marvin, who sort of like became my de facto manager, and he was really up until that point I just released single songs. I don't even think I'd really written or recorded anything in a while. And he sort of inspired that load of stuff that I put out. He was like, why don't you put some of this stuff on an album? And I just like started doing it.
Okay.
So there are like 5 or 6 albums in 2016 alone. I'm like, holy shit.
Oh my god.
Well, I mean, I think one of them might have been a single, so let's not get too carried
Okay,
away.
all right. My
Of
bad.
course. Yeah.
5 albums and a single. So are there any new projects on the horizon?
There are a couple. I've started a band with a friend of mine named Daniel Armstrong that we're calling the Dinner Plates,
Ooh.
which it's kind of in the same vein, but a little bit on the more kind of artsy fartsy side. Like, he comes from a very music theory-ish kind of background, and he's like turned me on to a lot of Baroque music and stuff like that. So I've really been kind of trying to stretch out my scope for this project. I think it's going pretty cool. Other than that, I have like one solo album in the works, of which I probably won't give the name away right now because
Okay.
it's like it's a tentative title, and I don't know if I'm going to change it, but it's a bunch of songs that I sort of have been working on for about a year. Things are a lot more slow going these days.
Yeah. All right.
It's been a
So
lot harder to find pot.
yeah, I can imagine, man. I can imagine. Okay. So where do you see the project in the next 5 years?
My personal project, or
Yes, personal project.
that's always I've never really liked looking too far into the future. I hope that I'll at least kind of find some little solid core audience. Like I'm not really expecting anything too huge to happen, but I mean, just some little kind of comfortable thing where I can kind of put my stuff out there and get it to a few people is all I'm really looking for.
Okay. All right.
Wholesome. I love that.
So for the last couple of questions, we're actually going to shift away from music and go straight to death row. So if you're on death row, what would your last meal be, or with a drink?
Oh, shit. This is one of those existential questions. Man, what would I want my last meal to be? It would have to include Chick-fil-A, probably.
Okay. Wait. What's your go-to Chick-fil-A meal? I don't go there like anymore, but
Their sandwich. I get their sandwich and their nuggets together. Like I
Okay.
can't really, I can't leave without one of those two things, and so I just like both. I can never choose, so I just grab both.
that's fair.
Okay. My death row meal would be a bowl of my grandmother's chicken and dumplings with a
Ooh.
2-liter bottle of Pepsi.
Okay.
Wow.
I'm a simple dude.
Very simple. I like it.
Wonderful. So if you could live in one fictional world for a week, where would you live?
Dick Tracy. there's a you know the comic strip, right? Dick Tracy.
I don't think I've heard of it. But
Can't
I
say I
trust you.
have.
I trust you.
Well, it was a comic strip back in, I think, the 40s, 50s, 60s, and they made a movie about it in the late 80s with Warren Beatty and Madonna starring. And it was very, very visually striking, and it's one of my favorite movies, so that's probably the fictional world I want to be in, yeah.
Solid.
So I have the honor of asking the last question, and every single person we have spoken to have said it's the most important question. What is
Let
your
me get
favorite
ready.
color?
Yellow.
Oh, good. That's all I have to say.
Any specific shade of yellow?
Like canary yellow. Like, do you see this sign I have back here on my wall with my name on it?
Yes.
I think so, yes.
Back whenever I was in preschool, that was the sign that my dad like put up in the window so they would know which car to send me to, and I was Yellow Adam. So
Oh,
my choice would have been orange a few years ago, but like for some reason, just in the last couple of years, it switched over to yellow.
All right. Well, solid
Solid.
nonetheless.
as it should.
So as I said, that is all the questions we have today. Is there anything you'd like to plug?
Well, my ridiculous catalog, of course, is on is on sale for over half price if anybody wants to check it out. And if you don't feel like buying it, you can just go and listen to it all you want to. It doesn't bother me as long as you like it. And if you'd like, I got my keyboard hooked into the system. If it sounds good, if you want me to play you something before I head off.
Go
Oh.
for it.
Okay. Oh, wait, I thought we were requesting.
Oh,
Sorry.
oh.
No, no.
Do you have a request? That's okay. That's okay. That's okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do this the last song off of my latest album, and I hope this comes out okay because I've been scrambling all day to figure out how to make this work.
Okay.
The night was young and we were old. The air was warm, but we were cold. I couldn't tell, 'cause I got told, fearing nothing but being bold. The world is huge and I am thin. I'm comfortable in anything but my own skin. I always won, but never win. I've never gone where I have been. Either my mind is slowing down, or everything is going too fast. Before too long I won't have a future, which is a shame because I've forgotten my past. I'm going back. I'm going back. Back to where I do not know. But the minute I find out, I will let you all know. I'll be there, but never here. I'm so afraid, but have no fear. I'll always chant, but never cheer. Always coherent, but never clear. I wish I might go back in time, that I might find that I don't mind the quirks that line the list that made up me. Furthermore, the trouble in store that made me more than immature. I'd like to find and thank my lucky stars that it happened to me. I know that I brought this all upon myself. I gave the signal for the whole attack. I know that all my time is running out. I want so badly just to get it back. I'm going back. I'm going back. Back to where I do not know. But the minute I find out, I will let you all know. I'm going back. I'm going back. Back to where I do not know. But the minute I find out, I will let you all know. The minute I find out, I will let
that is the closest we've gotten to live music in like a hot minute.
Yeah.
So
Oh my god.
I am in shock. It also
That
sounded
was so
very
good.
good. Yeah.
Oh my god.
We have had a couple people try to play music on here, and every single time it sounds like complete shit. So
Not because of the person,
Yeah.
but because of like mics
their
and everything.
setup. Yeah. So
Just
this
to
one,
clarify.
yes, the setup was perfect. It sounded fantastic, and you sounded fantastic.
You're
so
so
thank you for
good.
that.
Oh my god.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
Yeah, of course.
I appreciate it. I'm trying to turn off the reverb now, but okay. Got it.
Right.
See, there's a little bit of trouble here and there.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
no problems. Well, I guess that's where we're gonna leave it then, because you plugged
Yeah.
everything and then played a song.
That was so cool.
So thank you for sitting down with us. This has been Adam Thornton and We're the Good Noise podcast.